Hi, Miss Barber here. Today we begin the very important lesson of personal finance. Investopedia states that personal finance is a term that covers managing your money as well as saving and investing. It encompasses budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgages, investments, retirement planning, and tax and estate planning. Personal finance includes every area of your life that involves money. It is about what you do with your money and how financial management will affect your future. When you finish this lesson, you should have learned the following: the basics of percentages, how your income tax is computed, the effects of both simple and compound interest on your debts and investments, how annuities work, how mortgages work, which, by the way, is exactly the same process that applies to paying off your student loans, and how credit cards, that's revolving credit, works. Let's begin. We're going to do some percentage pieces very quickly. If you put $100 in the bank and it grows to $500, what percentage increase was that? A, 500%, B, 400%, or C, you weren't given enough information to tell? Yeah, it's 400%. If you put $100 in the bank and it grows to 110%, what percent increase was that? 110%, 10%, or not enough information to compute? 10%. If you bought stock in Dunkin' Donuts for $39 in January 2019 and sold it for $81 in August of 2019, what percent increase occurred in the stock? A, 107.7%, B, 51.9%, or C, not enough information to compute? Let's suppose for a moment that it's between A and B. That's either 107.7% or 51.9%. Notice that you go from 39 to 81. That's more than double. If we have to take a guess, A, 107.7%, is our best bet. Example: if an item is originally marked as being on sale for $100 and then is marked down 50% and is reduced again by another 50%, what is the final price? Let's begin with that. The original price is $100, 50% off. So if we do 50% off, then the markdown would be to $50. It's a half off. Now we're going to take another 50% off of the $50. So if we do 0.5, or you can do 1/2 times 50, the result is 25. So we take that first markdown of $50 and subtract the next markdown of 25. We get that the final price is $25. Example: if your salary is reduced by 10% and then you get a 10% raise, do you make the same salary as before the reduction? If not, what percentage difference do you make? Well, let's suppose your salary is currently $50,000 and for some reason you get a 10% reduction. That would mean that from your $50,000 salary, 10%, that's 0.1, of the $50,000 is subtracted. That would be $50,000 minus 10% of $50,000 is $5,000. So then your salary reduces to $45,000. Now, your company feels bad about it. They were able to find some money and said, you know what, we'll give you back a 10% increase of the salary you have. Well, that would look like $45,000 plus 10% of the $45,000. So you would have $45,000 plus $4,500 more, and so your salary gets back up to $49,500, not the $50,000 that you started out with. So the question is, if you don't make your original salary, what percentage difference do you make? What you make in terms of your percentage difference, well, you're going to make $49,500 of the $50,000. Let's just do this by hand. This would reduce to $495 divided by 500. I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2, which will give me 990 in the numerator. Divided by 1,000, we could write this in percent form. 99 per 100, and that tells us you would get 99% of your original salary. Example, an item is originally marked as being on sale for $73.48 and is then marked down 60% and is reduced again by another 20%. What is the final sale price? Let's start with the 60% markdown. That means of the $73.48, we'll subtract 60% of that price. So you'd write that as 0.6 times 73.48. So get 73.48 minus the 60% would be $44.09. That difference is $29.39. By the way, you can also take the $73.48 and multiply it by 40%, that's the remaining amount if you subtract 60% from 100%, and you still get exactly $29.39. 60% off means 40% of. From the $29.39, we take off an additional 20%. From the $29.39, we subtract off 20% of the $29.39. That would be $29.39 minus $5.88, and that becomes $23.51. By the way, if you were to take the $29.39 and just multiply it by 0.8, that's 1 minus 0.2, the result is $23.51. If you were to take the original $73.48 and multiply it by the 40%, that's the amount you would actually be paying, and then multiply it again by 0.8 for the other reduction, that would be $73.48 times 0.32, and that result is also $23.51. Part B, What percent of the original price is the new price? We computed in Part A that the new price with the reductions is $23.51. Percent of, so to compute that, if you do $23.51 and divide that by the original price, which was $73.48, that division is roughly 0.3199510071, which is roughly 0.32. So it is 32% of the original price. And by the way, that is the 60% off, so that's 40% of the price, times the other 20% off, that would be 80% of the price, which is 0.32, which is 32%. And finally, the question, does the order in which discounts and sales taxes are applied matter? And the answer is actually no. If you were to compute 73.48 times 0.4 times 0.8, that's exactly the same thing as 73.48 times 0.8 times 0.4, which is equal to 0.8 times 73.48 times 0.4. You get the picture, and this is because multiplication is commutative. Commutative means the order in which you multiply your numbers does not change the result. Example, let's do a quick refresher on converting percents to decimals. The process is you move the decimal point to the left 2 places. When you don't see one, like in example A, 100%, the decimal point is understood to be to the immediate right of the last significant digit. So if we move it to the left, 1, 2, in decimal form, that's the number 1. Let's do this for B. 23.3%, move the decimal to the left 2 places, so you'll have 0.233. It's a good idea to write the 0 point so that even if your handwriting is sloppy, kind of like mine, the decimal point is still pretty clear. Let's look at 6%. Here, the decimal point is to the immediate right. It's understood. We don't write it out. But then if you go to the left 2 spaces, then in decimal form, that'll be 0.06. Let's continue for part D, 0.001, where the existing decimal is, move to the left 2 spaces, and you'll have 0.0001. How about 135.9%? We move the existing decimal point to the left 2 spaces, and you have 1.359. Now to do F, which is 1/5%, the practice is to write the 1/5 in decimal form first. 1/5, you can do this work on the side, would be the same thing as, I want it per 100, so 20 over 100, and that tells me that it's 0.2. So 1/5% is 0.2%, and to write the 0.2% in decimal form, we move the existing decimal to the left 2 spaces, and you have 0.002. Next example, we'll continue with our number refreshers, and we're going to convert decimals to percents. To convert decimals to percents, you move the decimal to the right 2 spaces and then annex the percent symbol. So for 0.0725, moving the decimal point to the right 2 spaces, you'll have 7.25. Then you annex the percent symbol. Similarly for B, 0.1, move the decimal point to the right 2 spaces. That'll give you 10, and then annex the percent symbol. For 12, the decimal point is understood to be to the immediate right of the 2, and so moving it 2 more spaces to the right would give you 1200, or 1200%. And finally, for the decimal point 0.00035, move the decimal point to the right 2 spaces, and you'll have 0.0035. And don't forget to annex the percent symbol. Example, convert the following fractions to percents. A, 4/5. When I convert fractions to percents, I usually convert the fractions to decimal first. So for example, if I have 4/5, I'll multiply that by a factor of 1, that's 20 over 20, which will give me 80 over 100. Notice that's 80 over percent or per 100, so you could write this as 0.8 first or go directly to 80%. Let's do B, 7/20. To convert 7/20 to percent, I want 100 in the denominator, so I will multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5. 5/5 is 1. Multiplying across, 7 times 5 is 35. 20 times 5 is 100. Percent per 100. In decimal form, that's 0.35. And in percents, we can write this as 35%. Example, the family membership enrollment at a fitness center was 805 families. 5 years later, the enrollment was 875 families. Find the percentage change over the 5-year period. To solve for percentage change, the standard form to use is the new value minus the old value divided by the old value. Putting in our numbers, the new value is 875 families. The fitness center started out with 805 families, and that is the old value. In the numerator, 875 minus 805 is 70. Divide that by 805. Feel free to use your calculator. Do 70 divided by 805, and I get roughly 0.0869565217. So we can say that the increase is 8.7%. Example, you happen to walk by a store and see a sale. A great jacket is marked down 60%, and there's more. It's been marked down an additional 20%. Oh, and it's tax-free weekend. If the city tax rate is 8.25%, what percent are you saving off of what you would have paid with no sales or tax-off savings? Let's begin with the markdown of 60%. A markdown of 60% means that you pay 40% of the price. For example, a $100 jacket, 60% off, you pay $40. There is an additional markdown of 20%, So this means you pay 20% of whatever the price was. This means that you pay 40% times 80%, which is 32% or 0.32 of the original price. Now we need to take into consideration what to do with the 8.25% no tax. If you were to buy something and pay tax on it, let's go ahead and mark this as no tax. If you were to purchase something with tax, you would end up paying 8.25% more than the listed price, or 1.0825 times the price. However, with no tax and your discount, you end up paying only 0.32 or 32%. Compute this in your calculator and the result is 0.295612. This means that you pay in percentage form 29.56% of the original price, and specifically this is, if you do 100% minus 29.56%, which is 70.44% less than the list price with tax. Example, a camera shop pays $68.45 for a camera. The shop regularly sells them for $157.99. At a weekend sale, they sold it for $142.88. Find the following. A, the percentage markup of the regular price. To find the markup, markdown, or percentage change, we compute the new minus the old divided by the old. The new in this setting is the regular sale price, which is $157.99, minus the old is the wholesale price. That's the price that the shop pays for the camera, which is $68.45. We divide by the old, which was the $68.45. Use your calculator to compute. 157.99 minus 68.45 is 89.54, still divided by 68.45. Use your calculator to do this division, and this comes out, that's 89.54 divided by 68.45 is roughly 1.308108108 continues. So we can say that there is a 130.81% markup. Part B. What is the percentage markup of the sale price? We repeat what we did for Part A, but with the sale price. It's still the new minus the old divided by the old. The new price here is the sale price, which is $142.88, minus the wholesale price to the store, $68.45, divided by 68.45. Use your calculator. The difference of $142.88 and $68.45 is $74.43. Still divide it by the wholesale price to the shop, which was $68.45. Use your calculator to do the division. 74.43 divided by 68.45. The screen shows 1.087363039. Expressing that in percentage form, we see that the percentage markup of the sale price is 108.7%. And part C, what is the percentage decrease of the sale price from the regular price? Still use the same format, new minus old divided by old. The sale price is the new, $142.88. This time the old is the regular selling price, which is $157.99. Divide by $157.99. Use your calculator if you want, and when you compute the numerator, the difference is negative 15.11 divided by still $157.99. Use your calculator again to find the quotient of negative 15.11 divided by 157.99. The output is negative 0.09563896. What this tells us is that there is a roughly 9.56% decrease from the regular price. Let's note that I wrote positive 5.96%, and that's because I wrote the word decrease. A recent college graduate decides to buy a $225,000 house. In order to avoid PMI, which stands for Private Mortgage Insurance, the lending institution requires 20% down payment. Part A, what is the down payment? The down payment is 20% of the $225,000, so $225,000 times 0.2, and that gives us $45,000. $45,000 is the down payment. Part B, what will be the mortgage amount? If the house is $225,000 and you pay $45,000 down, then what remains to be paid off is the amount that your mortgage loan will be is $180,000.